Now, I've always said it's not real critical what buffing compound you use, but I really do like this. The only problem with this is expensive. But on a job like this, we're not going to use that much. I shouldn't think this is going to take a lot of time. Here's a couple little tips that'll help. If you can get this on the edge of a table or on your knee or something, supporting the part is part of the issue. A lot of times getting the edges can be tricky. That's why these $15 buffers have a soft pad, so you can kind of work your way. Any part you can't get with the buffer, of course, you just do by hand. And if the paint is hard enough, this shouldn't be too time consuming. The biggest mistake is to put too much material on the pad or try to use the pad forever. And as I'm saying, it's like this is time for a new pad. At the end of this job, we'll dump the pad. They're only a couple of dollars each. And supporting the part, of course, is now once this is all buffed out, before I put it back on a motorcycle, I'll put a real good coat of Carnauba wax on it. We still have a couple of months of winter here. Hopefully very short, a short amount. Now you know when you have just enough compound on there, when it's just leaving a nice little coating of compound. And I'm trying to avoid the edges since this is a refinish. We didn't really take this down into bare plastic or anything. We just did a refresh on it. But I think for a refresh, after 6-7 years of it, this is an 09 bike, so. But the tank is still perfect. This part was chewed up, a couple of the other little parts. I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to look at them. But what I do in the winter just to fill gaps of time, take one part off at a time, or polish in the same way. But if you're really into having a nice polished up motorcycle, this is the best $15 the bargain of the year over there. Now it's coming along, but I say we're not there yet. I see spots on here that still need some sanding. One of them is right up here. And the trick is constantly move. If you just hold this in one spot, not good. And of course you can do this to a bike that's, you don't even have to take the bike apart really. In this case, because we were painting it, we had that option. And the trick is just get this, every time you see a scratch, before I put this back on the bike, I'd like it to be perfect. A nice clean microfiber. Let's see. This up here still looks a little, could use a little polish. Again, you can use the buffer in this case to get right in the corner. And the point is, once you know how to do this, you're pretty much unlimited. You can do your family car, you can buff out every bike you own. It's a skill, and I don't count it as a difficult skill, but one I think I've tried to pass on. I learned it the hard way, of course. In the old airplane days, we did everything by hand. I didn't even have a buffer. So just let me show this. I think this'll make my point.
I think you can get an idea of how that kind of played out for us. So we have it painted on one video, wet sanded, and buffed on the next one. I hope that's proved entertaining and maybe even a little informative.